Hi, I'm Dr. Cock and Balls, and I'm here to tell you, the new voice actor, something that not a lot of you know for some reason, especially here on Casting Call. Whenever you're putting in an audition for something, if you introduce yourself, that's great. However, please keep an introduction to just your name or don't even put it in an audition. If you're going to do an introduction, you're able to put it in the description or whatever. There are so many auditions that'll start with some kid being like, "Hi, I'm Gary, and I'm going to audition for Freddy Fazbear. Okay, here it goes." Please, when you're auditioning, don't introduce yourself, and if you do, just put it in the text or make it very brief.
Hello, my name is Wyatt Henry. I have been voice acting as a hobbyist since November of 2016, I want to say. The first piece of advice I would give a new voice actor here on the site is to read and record every day. It's going to be very valuable to you. It's going to do a lot of things. You're going to get a lot of much needed practice. You're going to get used to your voice. You hear what you like and don't like about your performances, so you can tweak those, and maybe hear your audio quality, like what do you and don't you like about your audio quality. But it's also going to let you get to know your DAW, your DAW, your digital audio workstation, the program that you record your audio onto your computer with. I use Pro Tools. Some people like Audacity, Reaper. Quite frankly, it doesn't matter. It's just you like the workflow. But paying for something expensive isn't going to make you sound better. And that generally goes for just equipment across the board. But to keep this simple, just record and get to know things every day. Chances are you'll be like, man, I wish I could do this or that, and then do a web search, and boom, maybe you can. Chances are you can. A lot of people out there using this stuff, and there's a lot of great resources on the internet. And speaking of which, there are a lot of great resources about voice acting out there. Like if you just say, go to YouTube, there's, Bill DeWeese, there's Mike Delgadio has a channel called Booth Junkie, James Arnold Taylor, he is a professional voice actor. All these guys make a living doing voice acting and have home studios and have videos about what it's like to be a voice actor or straight up about just voice acting. There's a sea of that sort of stuff out there and great stuff. There's podcasts. I have a book I always keep in my studio here. It's called Voiceover Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic, written by Yuri Lowenthal and Tara Platt. Fantastic resource. But there's tons of stuff. I couldn't even go into all the stuff out there. Learn about the thing you like. There's a lot to be gleaned off of the internet, books, podcasts. It's all out there. It's out there. You just got to go hunt it down. Something more practical that I hear a lot with new voice actors here is, they might record their auditions too loud or too quiet. Now, you probably have some sort of VU meter, a volume unit meter. Seems like digitally, instead of needles, they're like these little green bars with some numbers. Now, whenever I record an audition, I'll record a lot quieter than I send it. Like I will normalize the audio to -3 decibels whenever I bounce it out of my Pro Tools to send places. But whenever I record, my peaks are hitting about -12, and then I normalize it up to -3 in the end. But when I'm recording, it's down around 12. So that little green bar is usually bouncing around between like 18 and 12. Depending on what you have to do, you might have to turn the volume down a little bit if you're going to be yelling a lot. Now, if you're up in the yellow and the red, chances are you're going to clip and distort your audio. You never want to be anywhere near zero because you're going to hit a ceiling and that audio is just going to sound awful. Now, equally, whenever you record too quiet, and your volume meter maybe say is down around like 36 or something. I don't know. Something insanely. I've heard some that are so quiet. And there's a lot of white noise. That noise. Whenever you boost that up to -3 dB so people could hear it, it'll be like, through the whole thing. And you don't want that. Now, there is software that can clean up like background noise and things. I use Isotope RX7. I adore it. And I think Audacity has something, but the problem is if you record too quietly and you try to remove that white noise out of it, it's going to share a lot of frequencies with your voice. And it's going to make it sound unnatural, robotic. It's just going to take out a lot of those shared kind of spectral noises. You don't want that at all. So you want to watch those levels when you record. I kind of hung on that a bit. The last thing I want to say is don't get discouraged. No one gets cast all the time. It's normal. You never know what the casting director wants because, they have a project, they have something in mind, or maybe they don't, but, no one is right for everything. So don't expect to get cast all the time. Even your biggest voice actor heroes don't get cast for everything, and it's perfectly normal and fine. So just don't get discouraged, persevere, and I wish you the best of luck. And, I went long, but I hope this helped somebody out. But anyway, take care. Peace.
ZealingVO or Zach here with some tips for new voice actors, and I'm talking extremely new voice actors or people who are looking at this and wants to become a voice actor. First of all, this is a very competitive line of work. If you're not ready for that, then I actually suggest that you just leave. Now, before sending in auditions to everything you can find, you should look at yourself and think about what you can do best with your voice. What emotions can you pull off the most convincingly? If you can pull off a convincing crying, no matter how good you delivered everything else in that project, it will stand out, and that will leave a mark for everyone. So, find what role you can fit. If you can fit a teen, go for teen or young adult. If you can't pull off a deep, rough voice, like, let's say, Joel from The Last of Us, don't audition for a role that requires that. But while you're auditioning for roles that you are good at, practice, practice, practice. I cannot stress this enough. Practice. If you're past that, good. Now to the next part. Audition for absolutely everything. And if the director contacts you, say, hey, are you busy? Say no. And if you're asked to deliver or record some lines or re-record, you say yes. Don't say maybe. Don't say no. Say yes. Do it right then and there. If you say no, you can be dumped for anyone else, and they can then put that into their portfolio, which could have been valuable for you. To wrap this up, if you're asked to scream, you're not going to scream like this. But you're going to scream like this. Screaming, when you're starting out as a voice actor, is something that is it's hard to do for new voice actors. It's one of the roughest things for new voice actors to do, even though it's not that hard. A tip I was given is start silent and gradually work your way up until you get to a full scream, like this. Yeah, and that should do it. I probably missed loads of things here, but this is what I could remember. To what I said previously, if you get cast for a role, you're going to take that role as seriously as you can. You don't want to half-ass it. Because you don't know if someone that can put you in bigger projects sees this project that you've been in, and you half-ass it, that's not going to give you anything. No matter how big or small this project is, or how big or small your character that you're playing is, you need to take this 150,000% serious.